Welcome back. You're still watching Perspective with the EU and Sweden. Sweden. The cooperation we were talking about, what was it? Sustainable urban development.
Yeah.
But there is also a cooperation on innovation, for example. I know you have Ericsson, you have, I don't know, even IKEA. I call it innovation because
but it is,
there's a lot of creativity there.
Yeah.
When you talk about cooperation with Indonesia, what is it like? Where are we cooperating on innovation? Who are you dealing with?
On innovation, we've started working with Indonesia on that. We have worked with universities.
Universities.
Yeah, we're trying to develop partnerships between Swedish universities and Indonesian universities, and particularly with universities in Indonesia, with ITB in Bandung, and Gajah Mada, and the bigger, more prominent ones on this side.
Right.
And on the Swedish side, we also have that. So we're looking very much at can we have partnerships that in turn will lead to new innovations. We also had recently a large delegation from the Ministry of Public Works coordinated here with over 20-25 Indonesian researchers that went to Sweden to see about innovation partnerships. How do you develop your innovations?
And things like that.
And actually, right now we had it's a very interesting international competition that Sweden opened in the area of innovation and sustainable urban development.
Right.
So one of the winners was an Indonesian young man who is working with water cleaning, and he's actually in Stockholm this week.
How come we don't hear about that?
You do now.
You do now, and we'll do something with him when he comes back again.
We're talking individuals. Can I ask you, for example, what is the EU doing in terms of cooperation with SME, for example? Because SME in Indonesia is very much the pillar of the economy. A lot of them hangs on livelihood through small scales.
Yeah. You know, if I may start from the even go down to the individual entrepreneur, I visited Flores, this wonderful island, which is such a potential tourist paradise. Still a little bit, to be discovered.
I like it.
Very nice. Exactly. I agree with you. But some of the things we've done there is you have some, very interesting culturally protected villages that remain, really keeping up their old history and the culture, trying to maintain the languages and the structures of these buildings or the houses, but they struggle economically.
Right.
So what we've tried to do there is just to help them to market themselves. I don't like the word market when you talk about that, but actually, they have tourists. They have tourists coming, right, to see a little bit, and they have been selling their organic coffee, but not charging enough. They don't understand that they can really charge somebody. These European tourists are ready to pay for that. If you package it, you understand the value of actually, organic coffee, for instance.
Right.
So we've just helped them to give some advice on how you improve your economy by marketing yourself a little bit better, right? So, there's some very interesting small-scale projects that remains everything, keeps everything intact the way it's always been, but still helps these local communities to develop. The youngsters will stay, not move to the big cities, because they find that this is where I was grown up, and I have something here which will sustain me and which I'm proud of. So that's just an example. It's not an SME. It's more on the even the lower scale. But I think that's when you travel around Indonesia, and I do it quite a lot because we have projects all over. You realize that for this country to really take the next step in terms of economic development, you need to raise that lower level of your economy and make sure that everyone is sort of on board to on this economic and democratic development that is so impressive, but that still leaves people behind unless you can promote them economically.
Is it done by the EU as an organization, or is it the country to country?
Well, I think the EU countries that are active here do have similar projects, but on the EU level, we do. I mean, all countries have pitched in to a big pool of money, quite a lot actually. The EU is the largest donor in the world, And we are able to still work, although economically Indonesia is about to graduate, if you like, from that kind of development cooperation.
Really.
There's still a lot of things going on.
It's not really equitably
No, that's true.
Us.
But much of that will now be the responsibility of the government.
Right.
We can advise. We have examples of social models. Sweden is one, but also in Europe, how you make sure that everyone gets the quality education, that everyone has economic opportunities, etc. So it's more of an technical know-how, travel back and forth with experts to see how we've done some of these things in Europe.
Right. Is it all over Indonesia? Is it?
Well, I've been to from Aceh to the Molucca Islands, and I will be soon be visiting Papua to look at a few projects there. Some of it is about quality education.
Right.
We have invested,
Thank you very much.
supported a lot. Education in this country has been one of our main focus. And I think we've been able to ensure that, together with the Indonesian government, that almost all kids now go to school. But if you visit some of these remote areas, you still find that quality education is still lacking.
I agree completely, but unfortunately we have to break again. So please stay with us, we will be back.